Taiwan, I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. With Taiwan nearing the end of its annual military exercises, troops are simulating a war of attrition, using public areas to practice fighting back against an enemy that has already captured part of the country. Our defense reporter Jaime Okan has more.
Taiwan's military is practicing what it would do if it lost its airfields and its military bases, using these public parks in New Taipei to rearm and refuel its helicopters in the event of a conflict. In less than 40 minutes, the Army is landing 4 military helicopters, simulating a wartime scenario of an enemy that has already made it inland, leaving their engines on and racing to resupply as quickly as possible. That includes a full tank of fuel, new missiles, and checking to make sure everything is working properly. This specific spot on the bank of the Cross-Strait River runs through Taipei and New Taipei City, a strategic area for the military.
而且从这个地点出发，那陆航比如说从河道进入的时候，它其实可以获得相当的隐蔽跟遮蔽，增加它这个行动的这个隐秘性。然后飞出去攻击的时候，也可以沿着河道延缓被共军发现的几率。
These drills are part of Day 9 of the annual Hangguang military exercises, which simulate how Taiwan would respond to an invasion from China. This year, the drills are larger and more public and longer than ever before, trying to prepare the military for whatever situation might arise. With just 2 days to go until Hangguang finishes, the military is making sure that all aspects of its defense strategy are tested. And whether that's in the land, air, or sea, the whole point is to create an effective defense against China. Ethan Chen and Jaime Okan in New Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
People had to clear the streets of Taipei for half an hour on Thursday afternoon, part of efforts to teach the public how to respond to emergencies. Our reporter Sandy Chi explains.
As the sirens go off, the streets of Taipei empty. This is part of Taiwan's urban resilience drills, held across the nation over the last few days. Military analysts say this kind of preparation is crucial for the country.
Many of the resilience drills are being done across Taiwan, not only serve as a way of preparing for a potential conflict with China or any kind of related contingency, but also just basic sort of earthquake, typhoon, other sort of natural disasters that Taiwan sort of faces.
Taiwan's ramping up its emergency preparedness efforts this year, combining the Wan'an Air Raid drill and the Ming'an disaster prevention drill for the first time. And more importantly, the country has taken the exercises to the next level.
希望演练能够全民参与，国家团结。今年是第一次，我们将1年1度国军最重要的演习，也就是汉光演习，跟新合并的城镇韧性演习同时举行。
The drills this year include air raid warning broadcasts, evacuation and sheltering procedures, traffic controls, first aid training, and other emergency response measures.
第一次没有脚本的演练，验证这将近8个月的准备成果，就是真正把演习视同作战。
Authorities also practiced how to distribute essential goods like rice, oil, salt, and milk powder, just like they'd have to do in a real emergency.
During the distribution practice, the government also last-minutely initiated another evacuation, telling people to take shelter, and everything really went smoothly. All the civilians went into shelter within just a few minutes here.
Taipei residents say these drills went smoothly and highlighted how important they are.
觉得他做得很好啊，我们就按照然后配置流程不会很乱啦。
I think it's pretty well since because we have to practice to avoid the real war happen, and I think it's a very good practice for all of the people here to be safe.
Though these drills happen only once a year, the central government hopes to further boost local governments' emergency response capabilities and, more importantly, make sure the public knows what to do in an emergency. Devon Tsai, Leon Lien, Fu Huahong, and Sanichi for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has called off a Cross-Strait swimming event following concerns that it could threaten the country's maritime security. Cadence Kuranta reports.
An annual swimming competition between Taiwan's outlying Jinmen Islands and China's coastal city of Xiamen has been canceled this year after Chinese swimmers were not issued the entry permits they needed to be able to swim into Taiwan's waters.
This year's competition was hosted by the Xiamen government and would have started there, with swimmers crossing into Kinmen to finish the race. To participate, Chinese swimmers needed permission from Taiwan's sports administration to enter the waters around Kinmen. But just days before the event was supposed to happen on July 26, they still hadn't received those permits.
因为它是从海上入境的，所以很重要的就是入境的这一个许可，必须由中央来发给。因为到目前为止我们都没有收到这一个入境的许可。
Whether or not the event would take place this year had already been in doubt for some time, after Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council, which governs relations with China, said earlier this month that it did not support it, calling it part of China's efforts to influence Taiwan.
我不会称它是单纯的运动，去那边就是要接受统战洗礼，从厦门游过来，等于是要游过我方的，进入到我方的禁限制水域。对这个事情呢，我们会比较谨慎的处理。
The council also suggested the event could threaten Taiwan's maritime security, as it would involve Chinese boats and swimmers entering Taiwan's waters. This is particularly sensitive considering the repeated incursions of Chinese Coast Guard ships into Kinmen's restricted waters since 2024. It's not clear whether the permit issues were influenced by these concerns. TaiwanPlus reached out to the sports administration, but it said it could not provide any details. Meanwhile, China's Taiwan Affairs Office has criticized obstruction of the event, saying it goes against the wishes of the people on both sides of the strait for exchanges and closer ties.
It's not clear if this means the event will be canceled in future years, but it is clear that rising tensions between Taiwan and China are making any sort of cross-strait event contentious. Howard Zhang and Cadence Kuranta for TaiwanPlus.
Ruling party lawmakers have joined civic groups to campaign for an upcoming mass recall vote against their opposition counterparts. Meanwhile, the opposition took to the airwaves to defend its positions on television. Each side is pleading their case to the voters who will ultimately decide their fate. Leslie Liao has more.
Great recall, big success! Great recall, big success! Great recall, big success!
Lawmakers from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party stand alongside civic campaigners, backing their efforts to recall 24 opposition Kuomintang legislators. Recall campaigners say the KMT is working on behalf of the Chinese government to infiltrate the country.
I believe that a great recall sent an important message to the global society because we believe Taiwan is an independent country and we don't want the Chinese agent in our Congress. So we would like to, July 26, everybody can stand out and agree the recall and make our Taiwan great again.
The DPP holds the presidency but has a minority in Taiwan's legislature. The KMT, together with the smaller Taiwan People's Party, has blocked or derailed DPP legislation. Disagreements over everything from the country's budget to government restructuring has caused a good deal of bad blood. Veteran DPP lawmakers say the people are fed up with the opposition holding the majority.
透过大罢免运动，我们要证明民主它的效能，而不是因为这些毁宪乱政、迫害国家的总预算，然后让人民对民主失去信心。一旦人民对民主失去信心，特别在亚洲，这是一个非常危险的事情。
On Wednesday, several of the lawmakers whose seats are at stake had a chance to make their case on TV. KMT caucus whip Fu Kunqi, who represents Hualien County in eastern Taiwan, is one of the more senior lawmakers facing a recall. He says recalling him would be a step in the wrong direction for his constituents. And he says it would be a step toward letting the DPP consolidate absolute power.
这是对全国国人的罢免，更是对花莲乡亲世世代代几百年来争取的交通建设跟地方繁荣发展的罢免。
我们千千万万不能让台湾成为一个军事独裁戒严的政府。
On one side, DPP lawmakers stand with the mass recall campaigners, saying the movement is a means toward a more effective government, free from external infiltration. On the other, the KMT is digging in its heels, saying that they're the ones defending democracy. But in a democracy, the people decide, and Taiwan's voters will decide who has the more compelling argument at the ballot box next weekend. Klein Wong and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Dozens of Taiwanese nationals have reportedly been arrested by Cambodian police in a telecom fraud crackdown. 75 Taiwanese were arrested alongside hundreds of Vietnamese and Indonesians. In May, Cambodian and Thai authorities released 55 Taiwanese arrested in a series of fraud crackdowns after 180 others were deported to China in April at Beijing's request, despite protests from Taipei. The foreign ministry here says if these suspects are confirmed to be Taiwanese, it will ask Cambodian authorities to send them back to Taiwan. North Korea has constructed a new pier at a launch site used for spy satellites and rocket testing. According to satellite operator Ayers, their latest imagery shows a new maritime structure at the Sohae satellite launching station. The pier could be used to transport larger rocket components to the site. This would allow for longer distance launches with bigger payloads. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un inspected the facility in 2022. He ordered its expansion to enable the launch of more types of rockets, including those capable of carrying military spy satellites. The world's leading chip maker, Taiwan's TSMC, is riding high on the AI wave, reporting record second quarter profits. That's despite investor concerns over US tariffs and the appreciation of the new Taiwan dollar. Chris Gorin was at the company's Taipei earnings conference and brings us this report.
Record high profits once again as Taiwan chip giant TSMC reports profits of $13.5 billion, a 60% jump over the same quarter last year and a record high for the company. That should be good news for investors worried about the impact of potential U.S. tariffs and the rapid appreciation of Taiwan's currency against the U.S. dollar. CEO and Chair C.C. Wei acknowledged that those factors, especially the exchange rate, have affected the company. And that has made the company's outlook for 2025 more conservative, with a prediction of 30% revenue growth for the full year.
We take into the consideration of the possible impact of tariff and a lot of other uncertainties. But I guarantee you, with our technology leadership position and excellent manufacturing, if there are any opportunities, we will catch.
Executives also addressed the recent announcement from TSMC customer NVIDIA that the U.S. may lift export controls and allow sales of its H20 AI chip in China.
We did not receive the signal yet, so it's too early to give you an estimate. But certainly, it is a good news, right? I mean, that China is a big market, and my customer can still continue to supply the chip to the big market. And it's a very positive news for them. And in return, it's a very positive news to TSMC.
So despite some uncertainties in the global economy, strong demand for AI is propping up the company responsible for 90% of the world's most advanced chips. And they're expecting robust, if slightly slowed, growth. Scott Huang and Chris Gorin in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The 2025 World University Games have kicked off in Germany. Taiwan has sent nearly 200 athletes to compete under the name Chinese Taipei. The team hopes the event will build momentum ahead of the 2026 Asian Games in Nagoya, Japan, and the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. They'll compete in 15 sports, notably volleyball, judo, fencing, and taekwondo. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Reece. Take care and see you next time.